In episode 22 of the Beamable Game Dev Podcast, I sit down with Aaron and we discuss some of our favorite indie titles. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment below and let us know some of your favorite games. Let's jump into this one. What is happening? Here we are yet again. Aaron had to be here for episode 22.
Because I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. Everything will be all right. Don't worry.
Okay. All right. Cool. We're going to talk about some of our favorite indie games.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna let you kick it right off. Like, let's get it started.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. I gotta start. I don't know what you've been playing. You know what I've been playing.
Yeah, I know. I'm keeping it a secret from you. Go ahead and kick us off.
What? All right. So the game that has just captured my soul is GRiS. Right? Did I say it right? GRiS?
GRiS.
GRiS. GRiS. Not GRiS. Yeah. GRiS by Nomada Studio. Have you played it yet?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I bought it the day it came out. I think, or else I got a review copy. I can't remember.
Oh, right, because you're like, cool. Look, I got a review copy and you had to pay for it, loser. Anyways, I love it. It's so cool. I think it's so it's so different. It's so unique. Like, I love the art style and like the way that like the watercolor just comes in and like takes over. I don't want to like spoil it for anybody, but like color has like a lot to do with like the storyline, and I just think it's really cool how they build on that. So I really been digging it.
Graphically, it's gorgeous. Like it's really it's really pleasing on the eyes.
Yeah,
and the sound design as well.
And I think like the controls are really easy, like to just kind of like get in the move of like doing them. I don't know if that, and I only bring that up because of a game that I'm gonna mention in a little bit. Like the controls are just like a little weird. But I just felt it was just very easy to just be immersed into the game with the controls. Like I didn't have to think about what I was gonna like supposed to press. So, you know, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
And
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna move us along into a game called Inside.
I have that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. You talk about it though, since it's a secret.
Have you played all the way through?
I've no, so I've watched a gameplay all the way through, but I haven't played it all the way through. Cuz I wasn't allowed to I wasn't allowed to get it when it like first came out cuz it came out like a while ago and I was a youngin. And anyways, shout out to PewDiePie for letting me watch the gameplay of that.
There you go.
It was great. Yeah. It's so cool. But go ahead, you talk about it.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I was streaming and somebody jumped into my stream and was like, "Yo, I'm going to donate enough money for you to buy this game cuz I want to watch you play all the way through it." And so they donated, I purchased, and we spent the rest of the stream just playing all the way through Inside, and it was such a it was creepy good time, like I really enjoyed some of the puzzles and the
chickens,
the lighting and the chickens.
Chickens.
That was such a fun little puzzle. The underwater stuff was very, very creepy, and they just did such a good job, because a lot of times when I think of like survival horror or scary games, I'm thinking Resident Evil, I'm thinking games with zombies or something along those lines, right? Alien Isolation. Yeah, that kind of thing. And this was all like, this was not first person. This was essentially a side scroller, and they still did this great job of adding this element of fear. And I really enjoyed it.
I think didn't that studio also make Limbo?
I believe so.
Yeah, because I believe I have that downloaded. I don't think I've played it, and I don't think I've watched a gameplay of it either. I just heard that studio did it, and I was like, okay, eShop, buy, download, solid. But have you played Little Nightmares?
I haven't. I have not.
Okay.
I see it's on your list though.
Yeah. Well, and So I played the first one when I first got my Switch like 2 years ago, and it was just mind-blowing, like, that whole experience, and then I got the DLC, and I haven't finished the DLC yet, but Trapper, shout out to Trapper, he got me the second one for our gift exchange, and, I've just started playing it, and it's really interesting on how they have kept, like, the same concept of the first game, but have added, like, little things, like, the characters kind of have, like, little shouts now, which before it was just a completely quiet game.
Mm.
So I think it's really, really, really cool, but, the first game, you need to get on that. You need
I
to
believe both of those are they're pretty much you can find them anywhere, right? Switch and Xbox and
Yeah,
PlayStation,
Switch, Xbox, PlayStation,
PC.
PC.
I'll do
Yeah, and
both.
I know for, the Indie Game Magazine, when they did their game awards, The Last of Us 2 or not The Last of Us 2, oh my gosh. The Last of Us is always on my brain. Little Nightmares 2 was up for some of their awards. I think, like, 2 of their awards. I don't know if they won because I haven't checked, but, yeah, it's definitely really good game.
Cool.
Yeah.
So this is a game that goes back a ways.
Okay.
This was the Xbox Live Arcade back on the Xbox 360, and
Okay, grandpa.
it's it's a game that I wish they would re-release. Like I wish it would come out
Mhm.
again. It's a game called Braid, and it plays kind of like Super Mario Brothers, but
Okay.
you have a rewind feature, and in certain instances you have to like rewind so that something might fall and then hit a switch and then you can continue on, but yeah, there's a lot of really cool puzzles, but the story is fantastic because you're running through this whole thing trying to rescue somebody, and you're picking up you're picking up puzzle pieces along the way
Yeah,
and putting pictures together that are uh helping tell the story. And I don't want to spoil it because it's so good. By the time you get to the end of it, you're just like your
mind
mind
blown.
is blown. It's just it's so well done. But it's never been, as far as I know anyway, it's only available on the 360, and it makes me sad because it's like it's a game that I want more people to play.
I
Now,
gotta boot up the old 360, you know?
the old
The
360.
have it sound like a rocket about to take off as it turns on.
Yeah,
Dust coming out of it.
don't get the red ring of death. Uh,
Yeah.
so I know we're supposed to be talking about indie games, but I see you have Animal Crossing on your list. So I don't. I mean, what indie studio put
Uh,
this one?
a very, very small, not known at all studio, just sort of you probably don't know it, it's Nintendo.
Right? Yeah.
Right, yeah, like, not a lot of following, not, you know, um, so funny story, over the holidays, at Christmas, my boyfriend ended up getting COVID. He's fine now, okay, but when he got COVID, I asked my Alexa to flip a coin to see if I would get the OLED, okay, and she flipped it, and then I got the OLED. But since then and now, I originally had 180 hours on Animal Crossing when my boyfriend first got sick, and now I have about, like, 240 hours on Animal Crossing. So I feel like I couldn't not talk about it today because it's been consuming so much of my life.
You're almost halfway to the amount of hours I have in Animal Crossing.
Wait, how many hours do you have?
Like over 500,
Oh, what?
maybe 600 now. I haven't checked in a while, but yeah.
Jeez. How come dang. Wow. Yeah, I have no room to talk then. Never mind. Skip, no. But I
Remember
have
that game
been
came out, we couldn't leave the house. There was nothing we could do. We were all stuck
yeah,
at home. So it
yeah.
was like, well, I guess I'll live my life on
Playing
this
Animal
island.
Crossing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that there was, like, definitely a minute where it was like, wake up, you know, brush my teeth, sit down, play Animal Crossing, take care of my island, and then go on with my day. Like, it was, like, in the morning routine.
Oh,
But
I thought you
then
were gonna say, "Wake up, brush your teeth, play Animal Crossing, brush your teeth, go back to bed."
no.
Like, the day just The days just
No.
disappeared.
I mean, some days, yeah, some days, but, like, definitely a snack break in there. But I think because I was also in school at the time when, like, we were home, like, and my professors, like, didn't they were like, "Oh, we're just gonna give you more work." And I was like, I just wanna play Animal Crossing." So, I ended up doing a lot of my projects on Animal Crossing, um, because I was playing it so much. Like, I have a full eco-criticism research review on the game when it first came out. So,
That's amazing.
yeah.
I love
Yeah,
it.
pretty cool.
The next game that I want to bring up is called Geometry Wars, and this goes back to the Xbox 360. Now, this game was kind of hidden in another game called Project Gotham Racing. You had to get into your garage, and then you'd go and find this arcade machine, and you'd play Geometry Wars, try to set the high score, or whatever. And then it was such a big hit, everybody was playing it, that they ended up releasing a full-fledged game. And then it's had two games since. It was also on DS and the Wii, and it was it's one of those games, like the leaderboards are what made it so much fun, because you'd have all your friends on Xbox Live trying to you'd get a message as soon as somebody beat your score, and it was like, oh no,
I
now
have
I'm
to
gonna
get on
have to
again.
spend hours. And it was the kind of game where it's like you had 3 lives, and so if you the better you did, you'd gain more lives or whatever. And so then, but there was other modes too where it was just a time mode. You have 3 minutes to get the high score, right? That kind of thing.
Right.
So it 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 was a lot of fun, and it's another one that I'm like, where did it go? Like, where did it go? This would be I've seen some knockoff versions on the Switch, but they just don't play quite as well. So,
It's
you know,
just not the same. So I
it's
have to
just
ask this, since it was a leaderboard game, did you have, like, a leaderboard name that you would put up there, or was it just, like, your Xbox gamer tag?
just your Xbox gamer tag, yeah. But like
Okay.
back in the days of the arcade, I would use Neo all the time.
Like
That was my
neon without the N.
no, like Neo, like from the Matrix, like not neon without the N. Like
You said
yeah, like
Neo, like
Ne
Neopets?
Ne oh my goodness. What's next on your list?
Josh is never gonna let me on here again. Uh, I don't know, you're looking at it. I think Phobia. Isn't Phobia next?
No, Moonglow Bay.
Moonglow Bay. Yes. Okay, Moonglow Bay. This is the game that earlier when I said, like, GRiS has really great controls. This game, little wonky controls, okay? And I don't like I this game is so cute. I just streamed it for the first time last night. It has an absolutely great setup. It's just very like a warm, fuzzy feeling going into it. But it has a really cool mystery at the beginning of it. And I definitely like encourage people to just play this game because it's very, very, very cool. But what I don't get, right, is like when you're on your keyboard and you have like A, W, S, D as like your movie buttons, okay? Then I gotta go to like C for stuff, and then like N, and then like J and L, and like that's too many letters for me. You know what I mean? So I'm still getting used to the controls, but it's a really, really, really good game, and fantastic studio as well.
Very cool. Very cool.
Have you seen it?
I have. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, it was
it's on Xbox Game Pass, right?
it is.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it is. I haven't played it, but I did see it, and it looked pretty good. It
The
looked pretty good.
fishing, the fishing is harder than Stardew Valley.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So
Interesting. I love fishing. Fishing in games, it always gets me. I'll just be like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm just gonna fish for a while."
it's a C
Like
bass.
it.
No, it's at least a C plus.
There we go. There's the puns. I figure we're gonna get to at least 22 puns before the episode's over.
'Cause
Uh,
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22.
all right, that's gonna do it for this.
Alright,
No,
that's it.
so
Aaron, leave.
one of my another one of my favorite uh like studios is Yacht Club Games, and they've put out a game called Shovel Knight. and it is very reminiscent of classic NES games such as like DuckTales, um, The Legend of Zelda, uh,
Ooh.
2, and it just has, and even like Mega Man, like it's just kind of a combination of those games, and they put themselves within the constraints of the NES. So like the colors, they only allow the colors that were on the NES. It it's a it's still a better 8-bit than what we got on the NES, right?
Right.
But um looks fantastic, and they've done so much with the, I mean, Shovel Knight made it into Smash as a Mii costume, and he's
Oh, that's
been
cool.
on, yeah, and he's been on multiple other fighting games, like little like indie fighting games that have come out. I believe he's in Brawlhalla, and I think he's on another one called um, oh, the name just, it just was on the tip of my tongue and I lost it. But so it's just really cool to see this character, and now they've also gone on to start publishing some stuff because they've there's games like Cyber Shadow. All these like 80s style ninja games have started making a comeback. So you got like Cyber Shadow and The Messenger, and there's a few others as well. And like they're such a like a trip to go back and like play these, like they're not easy. It's like you've got to get good or you can go play something else because they don't mess around. So
Wow.
those
That's
are
pretty cool
like
though.
honorable mentions. I'll say the Messenger and Cyber Shadow. The Messenger's interesting because you play through the game as if it's like a side scroller Metroidvania,
Yeah.
or I'm sorry, you play through the game like it's a side scroller adventure game, and then it turns into a Metroidvania. And you're like, wait a minute, what? I've got to like backtrack and start doing
Mhm.
these different puzzles. It was an interesting twist for sure.
I think that's what's also go back to Greece for a minute. I think that's also what's cool about that game is, like, there are certain parts where I end up backtracking because 'cause I'm like, "Oh, I didn't get this thing. I gotta go back." And I think it's neat that you can go back in certain areas. I always like when a game can do that. Um, but have you ever had a game where you kinda just rage quit, but it's still a good game? This is my segue into my next game.
Okay, go for it.
It's so this is a game called Phobia. And I have a phobia of playing this game again. It it's so cool. I don't really know the whole story yet, but it is extremely hard. Like, the puzzles are so hard. Like, you get past a point, you're like, "Yes, I just finished this puzzle," and then you walk into a bear trap and it kills you, and you're like, "Ah." It's set in the woods. It's really cool. It's a very minimalistic style, and your character is wearing this orange coat, but the rest of the landscape is all just like kind of watercolor pasteled and neutrals. But it's really interesting so far. When I last played it, because it's hard. It's really hard, and I don't know how to get through it sometimes. Like, I can't even wall jump in Super Smash Brothers, okay? And they want me to avoid a bear trap, so it's hard, you know?
The, you yeah, you may want to avoid games like Cyber Shadow then.
Okay.
Like it's
I'm trying to learn how to wall jump. I've been using, do you know the game Unraveled? Unraveled 2?
oh yeah, yeah,
The
of
second one?
course.
I've been using that to practice the whole, like, bloop, 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 because, for some reason, it just the thumbs don't do it, you know? It doesn't register for some reason. Um,
You're talking just practicing wall jumping?
yeah,
Interesting.
uh,
Interesting. I
I'm
mean,
not
do you have any of like the new Super Mario Brothers games? Anything like that?
I have no. I mean, like, the one for, like, the Wii is the last one that I have.
The one for the Wii. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that. And, like, I got the CD, the what came with it? Super Mario Galaxy, like, orchestra CD came with it, which was, like, really cool to listen to.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But I just thought it was weird that it didn't come with Super Mario like, the Galaxy one.
All
The
right. I'm going to wrap us up here with what I think was one of the like craziest indie games and the way it like was close to being shut down and then all of a sudden blew up.
Flappy
And
Bird.
that is Among Us. Among Us,
Wait,
it was like
how did that almost get shut down?
they were done with it. They were ready to walk and start working on another project.
Oh,
Like
I didn't
it
know
had been
that.
out. It'd been out for a long time, and then
And then it just blew up.
some streamers started playing it. I believe is the story, and now it's. I mean, you know, it
They've
it
got
it, it exploded.
they've got like Among Us like cupcake like stamp things. You know what I'm talking about? Like the
Like
cookie
a
cutters.
oh yeah. There you go.
Yeah, cupcake stamps. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I have never heard of a cupcake stamp, but
You know what I
like
mean? Like you got like you go into Snapchat and it's got like, ooh, DIY cake recipe, and it's like Among Us like on it.
yeah.
Who do you,
Gotcha.
all right, out of all the streamers who have streamed that game, who do you think made it like the most famous?
I
In
have no
your
clue
opinion?
because I don't watch streamers, so I have no
Do you,
idea.
do you know who Corpse Husband is?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he it was yeah. Yep.
Well, he
Yeah.
was playing with like Pokemon and stuff like that, right? Some of the
Yeah.
real big names. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean once that starts happening, like but it's such a unique game because you're not just playing to get through an objective or whatever, like there's so much interaction
Yeah.
and having to like it's so much better over voice versus just like playing it on phone. What's funny is like my youngest daughter is like she's like the hipster of Among Us. She's like, I played this game way before it was cool. I just want you to know that. Like she reminds me
Just so
every
you
time.
know.
Yeah, just so you know, I played this before it was cool. So, but
That is no, it's I've only played that game like a few times, and every time I've played it, I've only played it on my phone. But like with like I'll talk to people in Discord, but I'll just play it on my phone. My huge issue with it is I don't know where stuff is because I've only played it a few times. So when I go in there and they're like, Aaron, where were you going? And I was like, the thing that's down there where you pull the lever and then the leaves, and they're like, oh, she's and then I get ousted early because I've got no idea where I'm going.
you know how to open your map, right?
There's a map.
Yeah, there's a map that tells you every location and what your objectives are. Like,
That's cool. I didn't know that. I just I didn't even know how that you like had objectives that you're supposed to do. And then I figured that out. I was like, okay, cool. And then I was trying to swipe the card, like you gotta swipe
yep,
it, and it wasn't
you gotta do it
swiping.
slow. You gotta do it just right. Not too
Yeah.
slow, not too fast.
That's another reason
So,
that I got thrown off the ousted. They were like, she's faking tasks. I'm like, why would I fake tasks? And they're like, because you can't do tasks when you're the imposter. And I was like, I don't know that. And then I got the imposter one time and I was like, oh guys, look, did you guys know you can go in the vents? And they were like, have you ever played this game before? Yeah.
oh boy, oh
Yeah.
boy. All right, well, hey, that's gonna do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. We
Episode
will
22.
episode 22. We'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to episode 22 of the Beamable Game Dev Podcast. If you'd like to hang out with other game devs, head on over to our Discord, beamable.com/Discord. And if you'd like to try Beamable for free, head on over to beamable.com.